What if Izuku Midoriya was a werewolf? It all starts off on on his 4th birthday. He goes to his mother's room to wake her up, overly enthusiastic, as he wants to immediately go to the quirk doctor to find out just what his quirk is. After probably waking up and getting dressed and everything, Inko takes Izuku down to the quirk doctors where they run the usual tests, wherever they are. While Inko and Izuku are waiting in the doctor's office, Izuku is extremely ecstatic about what his quirk could be. A few minutes later, the doctor returns into the room, telling Izuku that he has a quirk. He asked what Inko's and the father's quirks are, and she explained that her quirk was being able to float or levitate small objects towards her, and her husband was able to breathe fire. The quirk doctor then explained that Izuku's quirk was a different type of quirk. No, not different, but different to his parents, as he had a transformation quirk that allowed him to transform into a werewolf. They also discovered that he was able to shapeshift parts of his body into that of his werewolf counterpart. As he then explains that he can transform some parts of his body to allow him to see at much further sights that shouldn't be humanly possible for a human unless their quirk allows them to see at such high distances. He also explains that he naturally has sharpened sense of smell and hearing, and whenever he transforms, he has incredible strength and speed boost, along with the previous benefits, along with a healing factor that also works in his human form. Not sure if I said speed already, but whatever. It's literally my first time recording. Roll with it. After she soaked in all that information, she took Izuku out to celebrate his 4th birthday. The next day, she took Izuku to the park so that he could hang out with Bakugo and his friends. As soon as Izuku walks towards Bakugo, he notices that he can hear weird explosion-like sounds coming from their direction. And as Bakugo turns around and sees Deku coming, okay, I'm just going to say Deku instead of Izuku just so it's easier. As he sees Deku coming towards them, he goes towards Deku, telling him that he unlocked his quirk, Explosions, to which he then immediately asked if Deku had unlocked his quirk as well, to which Izuku would just say, yes, he did. And this just prompted Bakugo to say, well, what is it? As Izuku then went on to explain that he had a transformation quirk. For this case, I'm just going to call it Lycanthropy. I can't really think of any other good names to bring up with it. If I think of any better names, I'll add it in a different video if I decide to continue on with this Halloween special. Yes, it's a Halloween special, get over it. At this, he then went on to explain to Bakugo just what his quirk allowed him to do, i.e. the enhanced strength, speeds, sight, healing, smell, and hearing, blah 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 blah. But he also said that he was able to fully transform into a werewolf, but in the resultant transformation, increased his size, which would have ripped up his clothing, so he only showed him his increased strength in his human form and his exceptional eyesight. And just because this is inspired by the Shapeshifters episode of Love, Death and Robots on Netflix, I'll be doing the same powers as that, if you didn't already get on, but I'll be adding it to my own color palette. As Izuku activated his enhanced sight, his pupils, his eyes turned pitch black, with his irises turning a dark blood red. As this actually freaked Bakugo and everyone else out a little bit, as Izuku asked him just what he could see off in the distance, as Bakugo would give a minimalist attempt at seeing just what's over there, as Izuku was able to clarify exactly what was over there, along with a few other things. We'll skip ahead several years to the final day of school that we saw Izuku in, where the teacher comes in asking everyone what they want to be in the future, where he just says, "Hey, I'm not kidding, you all to be heroes," proceeding to throw the papers in his hand just into the air, as everyone was an uproar of joy, showing off to the camera just what their quirks were. Pretty much everyone but Izuku and Bakugo's were pointless. Still, I digress. Bakugo then, which said none of you extras would be able to even be a hero, likely to be a sidekick. Me and Deku are the only ones able to even become a hero. As the teacher then started collecting up the papers he just threw down onto the floor, he said that two of our very own are applying to UA High. Both of them being Izuku and Bakugo. And unlike the original, because he actually had a quirk, they did not laugh in his face, seeing as a quirkless kid was attempting to apply for UA. The end of the class came to an end where Izuku was packing up his things, as Bakugo and two of his friends came over asking if he wanted to hang out after school, to which Izuku just said, "Sorry, can't tonight." Well, that he wouldn't be able to, as he's got things he needs to do for his mother. Bakugo says that as, "Alright, nerds, see ya next time, or whenever we decide to meet up again." To which Deku just decides to agree and finishes packing up as Bakugo and his friends walk away. As Deku was walking home, he decided to take a alternate route leading him under a overpass. And as he's walking through, he hears a weird gurgling sound from the sewer grate nearby. As he looks at it incredulously, using his enhanced sight, he notices that the sewer grate is rumbling increasingly as a sludge-like liquid. Don't know why I'm doing the voice, but yeah, roll with it. As sludge-like liquid begins oozing out, as it begins to clump up and gather into a giant humanoid form, as it is the sludge monster we all know. Sludge monster sees Deku and says that he'll work perfectly as a meat shield just so long as long enough that he could get out of the city and away from him. At this, he lunges at Deku, but with his increased speed, he partially transforms his legs so that he can bolt or dash out of the way so he wouldn't be captured by the villain. As he avoids it and rushes to the other end of the overpass, he hears the villain, saying, "Don't run away, Brett. I need to get away, far away as possible from him." To which Deku simply asks, "Who are you trying to run away from?" But at that moment, All Might appears from the sewer grates, that as he appeared to be in chase of the villain himself. As his towering figure rose, the sludge villain, pickups, began to panic, as he knew it wouldn't be long until he would get arrested by All Might. All Might then asked Izuku if he was alright, to which he simply just confirms, saying that the sludge villain tried attacking him. To which, yes, I'm saying that a lot, who cares? To which All Might simply asks him to stand back or possibly hold on to me or something, as he lets out a furious punch that releases a air pressure or whatever. Pressure of air so harsh, losing my words, that it caused the sludge villain to basically explode, scattering his sludgy remains across the inside of the tunnel. Sorry if I'm pausing a little bit, I can't do something while I'm doing this. All Might then asks Izuku if he could help him gather up the sludge villain. To which, just wanting to have a chance of talking with his idol, Izuku agreed. As they then took didn't take too long to gather up all of the rest of the villain in the 2 soda bowls that All Might just so happened to possess. Either that or they got him from the trash. Who knows? All Might thanks Deku for helping him, and he hopes to see him grow up into a fine young hero. Before All Might was about to jump off, Izuku asked him if there was any chance that a person with his kind of quirk could become a hero. He then quickly gave a brief summary of what his quirk was, and all Might said was that yes, you have the potential of being a hero, you just need to train your quirk right. As he then thanked him again and jumped off. As Izuku looked into his notebook to note something down, he noticed he got an autograph from All Might. To which he just mumbled to himself, even though All Might was already away, that he would pass it down his family tree, blah blah blah, as a heirloom or whatever. It's been a while since I've seen the episode. I just remember the basics. Alright. As he's walking on home, he hears later on when he's walking on home, he hears a explosion and walks towards it as a crowd of people are already there watching the fight, as he sees 2 heroes, a water hose hero, keeping the civilians back on his side, and Mountain Lady attempting to squeeze through on the other side, knowing she was too big. As he sees the sludge villain before, he doesn't notice at the time that he had Bakugo captured as he was looking away from him. And then he quickly looked over the remaining 2 heroes that were there and saw that their quirks were not compatible to allow them to properly apprehend the sludge villain. As the sludge villain turned around, Deku saw that Bakugo had been captured by the sludge villain. As he then wondered just why the hell wouldn't any of the heroes try and rescue him, despite him literally just thinking that their quirks were incompatible to deal with the mutation, I guess. I'm still confused whether sludge villain is transformational mutation, but I'm just gonna say mutation, just for the hell of it. As Izuku's deep in thought, staring at Bakugo, while continuing to strain against the villain, looks up in Deku's direction, almost seem to directly look eye to eye with Deku, and a clearly scared look. Seeing this has caused Deku's body promptly to move without him thinking, as he dashed over the water chain to keep the civilians back, and even dodging the strength hero trying to stop him. As he was running, he was thinking to himself, what the hell am I gonna do? I have no way of defeating him. Wait, my quirk. Using this, he partially transformed most of his body, i.e. his legs and his arms, to allow him for extra strength and super speed. He grabbed his backpack before he transformed his arms, took it off, swirled around, threw it towards the sludge villain's eye, hitting him, causing him to slightly release his grip on Bakugo. To which he then transformed its arms and started clawing away at the area where sludge villain had apprehended Bakugo. As all Bakugo shouted at Deku was for him to get away, he doesn't want him to get hurt. As in this one, yes, because he has a quirk, he's his best friend. I know it seems weird, but roll with it. It ain't the last time I'm gonna bring this up, trust me. As Izuku is continuing to claw away at the area where Bakugo has been captured, the villain regains his eyesight and attempts to attack Deku. To which All Might rushes in, taking the blow while saving Izuku from taking the hits. At this point, the sludge villain is basically shitting his pants. Well, if he had pants in the first place, who knows. He grabbed on to Izuku, he winded back his arm as he released a powerful smash that yet again caused the sludge villain to completely burst into small pieces. As a result, he had to grab onto Bakugo and Deku just so they would be flung away due to the resulting pressure. As the heroes had to shield the civilians that they had to protect. Later on, as Deku is walking home, Bakugo catches up with him to thank him, but also tell him that he didn't need his fucking help. Yet I'm having him swear, I swear in general. Fuck off. Then, after Deku, sorry about that, basically says, well, it's all not to help you. Bakugo then did his usual thing and huffed away, as Deku got slightly more towards the edge of the house. All Might came rushing around the corner, saying, I am here, causing Deku to shit his pants. As he then reverted to Small Might as he had used up his time limit. I'm slightly altering it, whatever. This caused Deku to freak out a little bit, saying, where the hell's All Might? I'm not gonna repeat myself, I do swear. And so will they. As All Might then proceeds to explain that this is his true form, and because of an injury several years ago, I have a time limit. Obviously, he has a time limit on his quirk. I need to stop trying to do that. Like, I'm not speaking for them. Whatever. All Might then proceeds to tell Deku that due to the bravery he saw today, he deems him worthy of one for all. That's what I'm going to say because... well, I'll go into that later. Just give me a second. This causes Izuku to frees up a little bit, as he was not expecting All Might to say that he was worthy of his quirk, because he's inside a mother. How is it even possible to transfer a quirk? How can I get his quirk and blah 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 blah, that kind of crap. To this, that's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna give, well, he accepts All Might's offer to be the 9th user of One for All. And I'm going to end this off here, and I'll be giving you guys a episode 2 tomorrow. Or if there are no guys and just me, then it's just for my sake, because I really want to get this one through, because I feel like this one has the most promise. Even with Crimson Instincts series, I'll get around to that eventually. This one I see a lot more promise in, and I can do a lot more with this. So I will be bringing out a new series eventually of What If. It's a little spoiler and a little temptation, possibly, of what if Izuku Midoriya had infinity.